Let's talk about it. It's probably the biggest question on your mind right now. In a world where AI is getting smarter every single day, what does the future actually hold for your career? You hear about it everywhere, but today, we're going to break down this huge technological shift and figure out what it really means for you.
Okay, so to get this, let's start not with some dry academic theory, but with real people on the front lines of this change. We're going to head to Texas, where the future of work isn't some far-off idea. No, it's happening right now, on the highways and on the factory floors.
So first, meet John. John's a veteran truck driver. The other day, he saw something that blew his mind. A whole convoy of 18-wheelers cruising down the highway with nobody in the driver's seat. For John, that wasn't just cool technology. It was a very real, very sudden question about his entire livelihood. Now let's contrast John's story with Carlos's. He's been at the General Motors plant in Arlington for over 20 years. He works side by side with these giant robotic arms that piece together SUVs. But here's the thing, he wasn't replaced. His job evolved. He went from doing the welding himself to managing the machines that do it now. And that, right there, is the heart of this entire debate. Displacement versus adaptation.
This brings us to the big, crucial question. Automation, using tech for tasks humans used to do, that's nothing new. We've been building machines to do our work for centuries. But with the crazy exponential growth of artificial intelligence, a lot of experts are asking, is this time really different?
I mean, to really get where we're going, we have to look back at where we've been. Think about past tech waves like the steam engine or the first factory robots. They caused massive, massive disruption. Sure, each wave got rid of old jobs, but historically new industries and new roles always popped up to take their place, shifting workers from farms to factories to office cubicles.
But here is the fundamental shift, the reason everyone's talking about this now. For centuries, automation was all about muscle. It was about replacing human and animal strength. A robot could lift a heavy engine. A computer could crunch numbers faster. But today's AI, it's different. It's starting to replicate cognitive tasks, the work of the human mind. It can write code, it can analyze medical scans, and yeah, it can drive a truck.
So you can see how this new reality has kicked off this really intense debate. It's basically split the experts into two main camps, and they have completely different visions for what our future looks like. On one side, you've got the optimists. They say, hey, relax, history is just going to repeat itself. They argue that AI will take over all the boring, repetitive stuff, and that'll free us humans up for more creative, more strategic work. We'll end up with new jobs we can't even dream of yet. But then you have the pessimists. They're waving a red flag, warning that the speed and scale of AI is like nothing we've ever seen, and we could be heading for a future where jobs are destroyed way faster than new ones get created. One of the loudest voices on that pessimistic side is the futurist Martin Ford. In his book, The Lights in the Tunnel, he paints this really powerful picture. Imagine you're standing in a dark tunnel, and you see headlights coming towards you. You assume it's a car, right? Full of people, full of workers. But what if it's just a machine, doing the work humans used to do, with no one inside at all?
And this gets to the absolute core of Ford's warning. It's what he calls the paradox of plenty. If robots and AI are making everything, just churning out goods and services, but millions and millions of people are out of a job, who's going to have the money to buy any of it? You see the problem? You could have an economy that's incredibly productive, but it collapses because the consumers, the workers, no longer have a paycheck.
So, who's right? The optimist? The pessimist? Well, let's take a look at the data. But, fair warning, the tricky part is that even the experts who study this for a living, well, they can't seem to agree.
This number, this is the one that really kicked the whole modern debate into high gear. Back in 2013, a now famous Oxford study dropped a bombshell. It estimated that a staggering 47% of all U.S. jobs were at high risk of being automated away. Now, people have debated the methods since then, but that study put a concrete, and let's be honest, a really scary number on our collective anxiety.
And look at this from the World Economic Forum. This shows just how fast expert opinion is changing. In their 2020 report, they actually predicted a net gain of jobs by 2025. But then, just 3 years later, their 2023 report completely flipped. They're now forecasting a net loss of 14 million jobs globally by 2027. They're calling it a double disruption from automation and the economic shocks of the pandemic.
And if you look across the board at reports from places like Brookings or McKinsey, the forecasts vary like crazy. Some say 25% of jobs are exposed. Others say 14% of us might have to switch careers entirely. But here's the thing. While the exact numbers are all over the place, every single one of these forecasts agrees on one thing. Massive transformation is coming for everyone. It's not a question of if your job will change, but how it's going to change and how fast.
Okay, so what does all of this actually mean for you as you're trying to plan your education and your career? Well, the conversation is starting to shift away from this scary humans versus machines idea and more towards a new model, collaboration. Think of it as meeting your new co-pilot. I love this quote from the research firm Gartner. It just perfectly nails the reality of what's coming. It's not about a jobs apocalypse where everything just vanishes one day. It's about jobs chaos, a period of intense, constant change where job roles, day-to-day tasks, and the skills you need are always in flux. Being agile is going to be everything.
So Gartner lays out 4 ways this could all play out. First, AI could just be a helper, automating the boring stuff. Think of a paralegal using AI to sift through thousands of documents in minutes so they can focus on strategy. Second, AI is a replacement for whole functions like we see with automated checkout kiosks. Third, and this is a big one, AI-infused work, where it's a tool for almost everyone, like a graphic designer using generative AI to brainstorm dozens of ideas instantly. And finally, the AI-human new frontier, where we team up with AI to solve problems we never could before, creating entirely new jobs and industries.
So how do you not just survive, but actually thrive in all this chaos? You do it by doubling down on the skills that make us uniquely human. As AI gets better and better at routine analysis, your most valuable contributions are going to be your creativity, your critical thinking, your social intelligence and empathy, and your ability to think strategically. These are the skills that partner with AI rather than compete against it.
Ultimately, this all brings us to the single biggest takeaway. The old idea of picking a career, getting your degree, and then just working in that field for 40 years, well, that's pretty much over. Your career isn't going to be a fixed destination anymore. It's going to be a constant process of adaptation, of learning, and of reinvention. The technology is moving incredibly fast, but the future isn't written yet. The real question is, are you ready to write it?